Hey guys, so I want to talk about a really useful concept that has been helping me in my daily life. This idea of abstraction. Now, I got this idea from The Amazing Digital Circus. It's a free series that was pretty interesting. Basically, abstraction was where we had the characters, they're in a video game, and it's like a human mind within a video game, or a human being within a video game, and they can't exit. And so the longer they stay there, the more insane they can get. And so when a human would abstract in this series, they would basically turn into this like giant mess of a monster. They would just term it abstraction to kind of describe this state where they were no longer present, their mind wasn't intact anymore in the game, and they couldn't come back. I'm thinking about this idea of abstraction in terms of that. And so to abstract, in my eyes, is to disconnect from reality, right? So to leave the grounded, fertile feeling of being here on Earth. And now I didn't realize that I was doing this a lot, and you might not realize it also until you start to think about it. So for me, abstraction can be me thinking about this future and me feeling like I'm not there yet, and then feeling disconnected from myself, from those around me, because of an idea of some other time other than now. And so this is about coming closer to the moment, and you come closer to the moment through not abstracting. So not being in your head all the time. And most of the time I realize also that people are often, when they are abstracting, they're engaging with the idea of something. And you can hear this a lot in like maybe romantic films. It's like he didn't love me, he loved the idea of me. And so this idea of somebody, when I heard this term, I didn't get it, and now I do get it, being a husband, having two children now. You can love the idea of having a partner, which is, oh, we're gonna go on rides and we're gonna dance, sing songs together, I don't know, just be free together. And so it is a beautiful connection, it's a beautiful bond. But that is very theoretical, because to be in a relationship, it requires you being able to be honest, be real with yourself, also be real about this person. This individual is also a human being, which have human traits. And so these are people who also get hungry, they get angry, they experience emotions, sadness, disappointment, and a lot of the times is due to the relationship, and and so building something concrete, building a concrete relationship requires you exiting the idea of something and just being able to be in the now with this person. And I see this because of both of my marriage and also being with my son. Like having a son, it can be a beautiful idea, like, oh my God, I have my son, we're gonna grow together, he's gonna be my son, right? Like he's gonna learn from me, he's gonna love me, and I'm gonna be taking care of him, and he's gonna learn all these awesome things from me. But that's just the idea of it. There's also the daily reality that, for example, my newborn is gonna be in this state of constant neediness and not being able to give me anything for like at least a year maybe, and like give me a sense of like, hey Dad, I love you, or Dad, help me. Like he's not going to be able to give me that, because he is only going to be functioning based on needing food, based on needing attention, in terms of like he needs our physical presence, and also sleep, these basic survival mechanisms that help human beings thrive. So my newborn is at 0. Now I don't really think about it like this, because I do think that there's an emotional or maybe even spiritual connection between my newborn and I that gets developed over time. He gets to trust me, which I think goes beyond just the physical. But for now, talking about the daily stuff is just as important as talking about the spiritual stuff. And so stop abstracting is this term of stop living in the idea of the now, or the idea of something, but actually live in the truth of it. And so we can get super theoretical about truth. And this is the other thing about me, which I recognize, which is like, oh, this is the fundamental truth of reality, right? Like, you know, we all come from this one source. We all have a purpose. We are all here one. And so you can get super theoretical about this, and it's super cool. It's awesome. But that doesn't help me bring food to the table, grow my business. It doesn't help me, you know, develop a good relationship with my wife. It can be a great, you know, foundation in terms of philosophy, because I think everybody needs a philosophy around things. But when it comes to developing a concrete relationship, business, anything, it requires you engaging with it on a daily basis, on a raw basis, and staying super close to the ground. And you know, there's some practical implications about this, which, like, for me, this is why I started to track my thoughts, because it's cool to have that philosophy, but if I'm just there, then I never do get anything done. You know, it's like seeing that the floor is dirty and having this idea of like, oh, this floor is dirty because, you know, nobody cleans it. I have to be on top of it. The kids are messy. We have too many people walking around. Maybe we should get shoes. Maybe we should stop using shoes. Like, super simple thing, right? But the more I think about the reasons why this is dirty, the less I'm actually cleaning it, and the more anxious I get. So instead of me just saying, oh, this floor is dirty, let me just go and clean it, you know, I start to abstract and I start to leave the now, and it has a snowball effect of a negative undertone to everything that I do. So like with my wife, you know, it's going to affect the way that I conversate with her, because I can't be present with my son. I get mad at him because he's, you know, things are dirty, and I can't pay attention to him because I'm focusing on the floor. Like, these are basic stuff. It's basic things. And yet they have such a big impact on the way that I develop the things that I truly care about. And so stop abstracting is this idea that you gotta just stop living in your head and start living in your body. And so, like I said, a journal can be super awesome. I think this is where meditation can be also very practical. And so I'm still using the spiritual tools, but with the intention of having something that can serve the daily stuff. And I think a lot of people don't really live life because they're living in the idea of their life. And that has so many implications and so many ways of developing that, you know, I can't cover them all. But if you do have questions about this, you know, this might be you. You know, you might feel like you're abstracting a lot, and you don't get. And a common symptom is you just never really get anywhere. You never really accomplish your goals, right? You never get that certification. You never accomplish like a long-term relationship. You never do. You don't follow through with the things you say you're gonna do. It's because the reason you don't is because you're moving towards an idea of something rather than the truth of it, which is like, hey, if I want to get a certificate, that requires me to set time aside for it on a daily basis. You know, and also like, yeah, I mean, or if I want to have a good relationship, it requires me being honest about my emotions and really opening up to this person in a way that maybe I'm not used to. And so this is also where a lot of the spiritual bypassing happens, you know. Like, you would rather stay in the idea of a spiritual truth than live it and try to find it in these moments. So that's just a little breadcrumb of knowledge that I've been thinking about, that has been serving me pretty well. It's been keeping me grounded, and more importantly, it has helped me, when I stop abstracting, it has helped me accomplish a lot more in my life. Appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.